Assalamu alaikum. How are you, dear students? Welcome to the channel, The Physics Gurus. So, this is episode number 5 of the definitions of O-level and IGCSE physics of the syllabus 2022. In previous parts, we have discussed the definitions starting from unit number 1 up till unit number 8. And in part number 5 or episode number 5 of the definitions, we will discuss the definitions of unit number 9, that is transfer of thermal energy, as well as definitions of unit number 10, that is temperature. So let's start the definitions of unit number 9, that is transfer of thermal energy. The very first definition is the difference between conductor and insulators. Conductors are those materials through which, since this unit is related with the term mean heat, so we will consider that the materials through which heat can easily flow or even current can pass are called as conductors. For example, copper, iron, steel. So metals are good conductors of heat. And the reason is that in metal क्या exist करते हैं? Free electrons. So free electrons are there in metals, due to which heat is very quickly is transferred from one place to another place. While insulators are also called as bad conductors, and the definition of insulator is very simple, that is the materials through which heat cannot flow or current cannot pass. For example, wood, glass, and plastic. And what is the reason that why heat cannot flow easily through insulator? The reason is that there are no free electrons, or you can say mobile electrons. So in conductors, there are free electrons, due to which it can easily flow from one place to another place, or from one part of the conductor to another part of the conductor. While in insulators, there are no free electrons, due to which heat cannot flow. Now there are three modes of transfer of heat through which heat can be transferred from one place to another place. That is conduction. Number 2, convection. And number 3, radiation. Conduction is purely done in solids. Convection in fluids, that is liquid and gases. And for radiation, no medium is required. In solid, heat flows from one place to another place due to the vibrations and collisions of atoms and molecules along with electrons. So when solid is heated, the atom vibrates vigorously about their mean position, collide with the other atoms, and then heat is transferred due to these collisions as well as the movement of the electrons. While in fluids, convection takes place, and this is the method which takes place in the liquid and the gases. And here, when liquid is heated up, it expands, its density becomes less, becomes lighter, and rises up. While cooling process is opposite, when particles are cooled down, then it becomes more dense, heavier, and sinks to produce convection currents. And then radiation, it executed without need of any medium. That is, for example, heat reaches us from sun to earth, and there is vacuum or space between sun and earth. So let's move towards the definitions. Conduction: the method of transfer of heat by vibrating atoms and free electrons in solids from hot to cold parts of the body. In convection, the method of transfer of heat by the actual movement of molecules from hot to cold place, and it is related with fluids, that is liquid and gases. Radiation: the method of transfer of heat from one place to another place in the form of infrared waves, that is, there is no need of the medium while this mode of transfer of heat. And then convection current: the path followed by the hot molecule is called as convection current. And whenever we are heating the molecules like this, if this is the beaker and we are heating the molecules from the right side, then from the heating region, the molecules will move up because they become less dense, lighter, and rises up. While on the other side, on the cold region, molecules are more denser, heavier, and sinks down. And in this topic, one more thing is there, that black colors are good absorber as well as good emitter of heat, while shiny surfaces are good reflector of heat, and white colors are bad absorber and bad emitter of heat. So let's move towards the definition of next unit, that is temperature. So one very famous and old definition of temperature is there, and that is not supposed to be written by you people in the exam. That is the degree of hotness or coldness of a body's measure of its temperature. In many books, that definition is written, but technically speaking, then temperature is the measure of average kinetic energy of the particles of a substance. So larger the kinetic energy of the particles of the substance, more will be its temperature, and lesser the kinetic energy, smaller will be its temperature. In order to make a thermometer, thermometer is device which is used to measure temperature. In order to measure the thermometer, we have to determine the two fixed point, that is lower fixed point, also called as ice point, and upper fixed point is called as steam point as well. So the temperature of pure melting ice is called as lower fixed point, and generally it is 0 degrees Celsius, and upper fixed point, the temperature of the steam above the pure boiling water, and in generally its value is 100 degrees Celsius. So we will calibrate, or we will divide equal deviance between lower fixed point and upper fixed point. Then very famous definitions are there, that is sensitivity. So in sensitivity, we always consider the sensitiveness of the thermometer, that is the increase in length of the mercury column per unit increase in its temperature. What is the definition? The increase in length of the mercury column. Increase in length of the mercury columns mean that how much mercury expands per unit increase in temperature. So per degree, you might say increase in temperature, and what will be the length of the mercury column, or what will be the increase in the length of the mercury column. Then here becomes a range. The difference between maximum and minimum temperature that the thermometer can read is called as range. For example, let's suppose if values are given like this, minus 10 degrees Celsius and 110 degrees Celsius over here, then what will be the range? You can write the answer like this: minus 10 degrees Celsius to 1 degree Celsius, or you can write the answer 120 degree Celsius. There is no need to subtract them, because negative sign shows that now temperature is below the ice point. So you will add up these two values excluding the negative sign. And then there is a relation between sensitivity and range, and that is sensitivity is inversely proportional to range. So larger the range, lower will be the sensitivity. and lower the range or smaller the range, larger will be the sensitivity. Let's suppose if we have two thermometers like this, one, two, three, four. Okay, let me make it equal distance. One, two, three, four, starting from 0, and let's suppose this is 5 degrees Celsius, and as compared to this, if 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So which will be more sensitive? Thermometer number 1 or thermometer number 2? It has smaller range, so it will be more sensitive, and it has larger range, it will be less sensitive. Then here comes the definition of linearity. The change in temperature produces the same change in length. What does it mean? If we will increase the temperature, then definitely, so if we will increase the temperature, then definitely the length of the mercury column in the temperature also expands equally. If temperature becomes double, then the expansion of the mercury length in the thermometer also becomes double. So there will be a linear relation between the temperature and the change in length of the mercury column. And then responsiveness, it refers to how fast thermometer can respond to the temperature changes and register the new reading. So another important part of the temperature unit is that diagram of the thermocouple thermometer. And usually its diagram is being asked in the examination to be drawn by the student. So what we will do, that millivoltmeter over here, this will be the hot junction, this will be the cold junction, and one very important thing that you have to label, this is wire A, and if I will make it purple, then it will be more clear that this will be wire. So in this way you can draw the diagram of thermocouple thermometer. So thank you very much for being with us. Wish you all the best for your exams.